result.
I still don't know what happened.
You know what? We could do a whole half-hour show on just that sequence of events, but we're not going to because it's confusing, A, and B, ultimately probably doesn't affect the result of this game. So basically, De'Aaron Fox does not touch that ball when the clock is stopped. Therefore, the Kings did not have possession of that rebound. That's a free rebound. So it's now a dead ball, and no one possesses it. And that's why there's a jump ball.
Technically, rule-wise, you're right. But this is where common sense comes into play. And this is where the officials do have to, have the liberty to exercise some common sense around this as opposed to just being, strictly by the book. Now, technically, by the book, you could say the officials are right. However, game situation, fans watching, this is when you say, okay, as an official, we have to, exercise a little common sense here.
Right. I mean, the idea was Fox wasn't going to touch it, so the clock didn't start, but the clock did start. The officials recognized it, told the scores table, stopped the clock, but again, because Fox hadn't touched the ball, no one possessed the basketball.
And there was
That's why there's a jump.
There was no Laker in the area.
No Laker in the vicinity of that play.
That you can argue and say, well, the Lakers maybe could have come up with the basketball. So again,
Right.
this is where common sense comes into play, and you say, okay, play on.
I can sort of see where the officials' hands are tied there by the rule, but it was very confused. And to Bill McDonald's point, if there's ever a time to get on a microphone and explain it to everybody, this would have been that time. They usually do that only in the case of reviews, but nonetheless, the Lakers get the win. Would you like to weigh in, like for 5 or 10 minutes just on this?
Nah, I think I've had enough of that. But I just say that this is a very entertaining game, and we know LeBron's always going to be stellar. We know that. But to see some of these other young players step in, and when we talk about a guy like Malik Monk, as we see LeBron with the three right there, LeBron, we know LeBron can do this. He can knock down shots. He's 12 of 26 from the field, so he's very efficient doing so. He can get downhill. He can make plays. He understands what it is to win in these moments because he's been there so many times. But the invaluable experience somebody like Malik Monk is getting, guys like Taylor Horton-Tucker, those guys that are getting a chance to make winning plays for the Lakers, even in the game against the Sacramento Kings, I think this is going to be something that helps them in the long run as we talk about what this team can be for the playoffs. They're going to need these guys. Even when somebody like Anthony Davis comes back, you're still going to need Malik Monk to be able to hit some shots in the playoffs. Because they're going to double Anthony Davis. They're going to double LeBron James. And those guys are going to have confidence to hit the shots because they play the moments like they did tonight.
Key word you just hit on, confidence. They're getting the confidence and experience from these moments like tonight.
It's been a clunky season for the Lakers for a lot of different reasons because of guys in and out of the lineup, including LeBron James, including Anthony Davis now. But Malik Monk is one of their best stories so far. He has the best plus-minus of any player on that roster so far, plus 127 coming in. And remember, he basically came there and bet on himself to prove that he could play with this group of really highly decorated players, contribute. 24 tonight. He's averaging well over 20 in his last 6 games.
And we know he's a big-time scorer when he has the opportunity. He was in college, he was at Kentucky, and, he played well there, came into the NBA. Had a little rough start, but as you said, I think he's in a situation now where he's bet on himself. There's pressure on him, but he's playing with a guy in an organization that showed that they're going to have confidence in him and live with his ups and downs. And as Brendan pointed out, and he knows the historical ride of a championship season, you're going to need players like him at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm just happy that Malik Monk's able to turn it around because there were some rough years there in Charlotte where it didn't.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome into the latest edition of Game Time, presented by Kia. Brendan Haywood right over there, the Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas right here. I'm Matt Weiner. Happy New Year to you. We appreciate you being there. On the way, John Morant makes his case against the Cavaliers for a return to Cleveland next month. That's probably going to happen. First, though, the King at 37 just keeps on coming. After Sunday's 26-pointer and a win over Minnesota, LeBron James had the longest streak of 25-point games ever by a player 36 years or older. Ever, Zeke. Ever.
League of his own.
Just turned 37, and the Buckets kept coming with the Kings in town on Tuesday night.
Give me
First, the block
Hey, Zeke, what type of party is it?
It is a block party.
Has anybody ever done that better than LeBron?
Probably.
Chase down block? No. Dwight Howard with the swipe. Malik Monk behind the back to the king for the finger roll. It's showtime.
Showtime Lakers are back. Is that what we're saying?
Well, for that play anyway, yeah. Problem for the Lakers most of the night is they could not stop Sacramento. De'Aaron Fox had it going.
Yeah, Sacramento would not go away. They were leading by 2 at the half, and they kept the pressure on the Lakers.
It's tight, it's late. LeBron and Buddy Hield go back and forth. Like 8 straight possessions that the two teams scored against each other. LeBron and then Buddy and then LeBron and then Buddy.
This was fun to watch right here. LeBron was doing his thing. Buddy was doing it as well. Buddy's like, hey, Brian, man, you could have had me on your team. What's up? I could have been a Laker.
Hield,
Bang, bang.
7 of 13 from three-point range.
Bing bong.
He had 26. Sacramento up 108-107. LeBron to Malik Monk.
And Malik Monk really stepped up and had some clutch moments for this Lakers team. I thought since the beginning of the season until now, he has grown up so much. He's going to help this Lakers team down the stretch.
He had 24. James like a freight train. Right down the lane. Contact. Bucket.
And they were going at Damian Jones all night long. The Lakers had a good thing. When they caught Damian Jones in a one-on-one situation, they drove him to the basket relentlessly.
Lakers have now won 3 in a row and 4 of 5 to get themselves back over 500 for the season. Russell Westbrook, by the way, 19 points, and after 9 turnovers Sunday, 0 on Tuesday. That's the first time he's played more than 30 minutes without a turnover since 2013.
I love it.
Lakers only had 5 turnovers as a team, by the way.
And this was a much better played basketball game by him than some of the triple-doubles that he's put up.
LeBron now with 30 or more in 8 of his last 9, including 14 of his 31 Tuesday when it counted late.
Well, listen, LeBron James is just doing what he's always done. He's used to having the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, and he just understands where the ball needs to be, when it's time to make a play. You see him right here driving on. That was actually in the first half on Damian Jones, but you get the picture. LeBron James understands where to finish at, where his shots are going to come from, who's guarding him. You rarely see him just take these shots where you're like, what is he doing? He understands the time and the situation, and he was huge for the Lakers down the stretch tonight because him and Buddy Hield had that moment where they're going back and forth in the fourth quarter, and LeBron never wilted, and he helped push his team over the hump. And you see a lot of baskets being made on that screen right there, Zeke.
A lot of green streaks. That's a good sign for the Lakers. Zeke, you played for a long time. You had a Hall of Fame career. How can you put into perspective the numbers that LeBron is putting up and the physicality that is required to make those numbers at the age of 37?
I mean, it's extremely difficult to find the right words to express what it is that we're seeing and have seen from him over the years. And I've said this before, when he's done playing, he will be top 5 or top 10 in every single statistical category. Now, we've had players in our league before who have been 1 in one category or 2 in another category. But we've never had a player across the board in every single statistical category that's either 1, 2, or 3 by the time he's done. So we're watching greatness, and let's enjoy it while we're watching it.
He was the youngest ever to average 25 points per game in a season, and right now on track to become the oldest player ever to average 25 points per game in a season. And for all the nitpicking about the Lakers roster construction from this past offseason, Malik Monk has been a real find for them.
Yeah, Malik Monk has been huge for them. And this Lakers team is a little bit older, so they need somebody young that can give them that pop, that can create their own shot. But then at the same time, when LeBron has the ball in his hands, this guy's able to go knock down shots as well, whether it's from the corner, top of the key. It doesn't matter. You can put him in the pick and roll. You can let him get some ISOs. Malik Monk is now growing into the scorer that people thought he was going to be originally when he came out of Kentucky. And when you look at all those LeBron teams that have won championships, they always have those unheralded guys that he has to throw the ball to, and they have to have those big-time championship moments, whether you're talking about guys like Mario Chalmers, J.R. Smith, the list goes on. You have those names that might not be the first names you think of when you think of those championship teams, but they hit big shots. Malik Monk's going to have to be one of those type of guys if the Lakers are going to win a championship.
Monk's averaging over 20 points a game on great shooting numbers over his last 6 games. Lakers back over 500. On the way, John Morant delivers in Cleveland in an all-star game preview. Wait till you see how he finished off the Cavaliers.